So look, Lala's just like you left, and I don't want to hold you back, and you're an employee and great, and I don't really understand. The Give Them Lala Corporation will continue without you. I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah, this is what I said when
Very,
everyone left. Go right
yeah, I agree.
ahead.
You're stronger than ever. You had your biggest year ever last year. So
Biggest year ever. And at the end of the year, we had another collaboration, a woman named Sarah Fraser. First, she calls Bronwyn a toucan. This you call the woman a toucan. And then she says, "Oh, I need time off during the holidays. I like need a break from you, David." Now again, I need a break from myself almost every fucking day. And we said, take your break, Sarah. Take your break. Oh, then the texts come in. Where are you? Honey, you said you needed a break from me. I'm busy over here. Don't you worry.
he doesn't chase everybody. He doesn't
I
chase.
don't chase. I don't
His
chase.
back. He's very confident. He
Craig
chase.
Conover, Craig Conover. Don't go chase her. Don't go chase her. It's over.
I don't think she can be chased. I think she's over him, and I think he was just too small town boy for her.
Mhm.
She's got big dreams, big goals, big fashion, and I don't think that was Craig.
Mm-mm.
Seems like a small town southern boy, pull up to the bar, living the slow life.
Mhm.
And I nothing wrong with that, but I never saw that chemistry to begin with. That was my 2 cents.
I loved it, but trust me, he's gonna be, I have a woman for him. Her name is Miss Olindo. Some call her Naomi. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Get her back on Southern Charm. I think, look, it didn't work out when you were building the pillow business and she made fun of the pillows. She's a different Naomi now, Craig. And Craig, you're a different guy. Paige taught you a lot. This is it. She'll be pregnant by Christmas. Your kids will be gorgeous. She'll move in. Add an extra floor on the house. Naomi and Craig 2025. I ship that. Kids still say that. So that's it. I don't know. But Lala said the girl's just trying to get her 15 minutes. All I want to say to this assistant is girl, have a plan for the podcast. Because if it's beating around the bush about you spoke out against James and she,
Hard.
right? Like where's
No,
this
look,
podcast going?
I was in the same boat, right? With my whole Kane Show Hot 99.5 situation. I signed an NDA. That I couldn't disparage anything about Kane, which, you kind of get caught up in that thinking that that's like, oh, this is such a bad thing. But I mean, if you tell the truth, right? I mean, he threw keys at our face and kicked a trash can and broke a chair. And,
Oof.
our GM had to come in because he and another jock were going to get in a fight on the air. I mean, if you say the truth is like, you can't do anything. But I know what the NDA is like. And it was hard for me to navigate that on my podcast for the first couple of years because people want that tea. And then sadly, he passed
Mhm.
away. And then it's like, well, someone can't sue you from the grave. So it's like
Mhm.
now I've been free to say what I want to say. And
Let
yeah,
me tell you
oh,
something.
she's gonna.
Not talking about it in the beginning for you helped you because when you have a podcast like a bunch of yappas that have left me, and that's all you talk about, eventually, if you say the same fucking thing 800 times, there's no brand or substance. So I think you not being able to talk about it helped your longevity in this podcast space,
Well,
Sarah.
Jessica, give us a call. We both do consulting. We'd
Yes.
love to help you because you do need a bigger plan. You do need a bigger, but I read between the lines and I thought, yes, that is
Hmm.
because Lala did not come out strongly against James Kennedy with that whole abuse thing. And, it's no secret. Juliet Harris has been on, friend of ours, friend of the show, been on my
Hmm.
pod, probably will do your show eventually. And she's been very vocal. She says James Kennedy has a history of abusing women, 100% with Rachel, and Bravo has turned their eye. And I mean, as far as we know, right, he and Allie are still together, I think.
Well, the psychics, we have a lot of psychics here behind the velvet rope. By the way, use code VELVET. It's only $20 for a 35-minute reading, which is insane. Slip into my DMs if you can't figure out how to download the Psychic Source app and enter code VELVET and say reading now. And Sarah, you don't have to use that all in one place. If you do a psychic reading for 5 minutes, you have 30 minutes left. It doesn't have to be 35. They say that Allie is not that they won't last, but the last psychic we had on, Psychic Robin or Leo, I can't remember, said she's there. There's a reconciliation coming, and the psychics at the psychic source are never wrong. So they're going to reconcile before they break up, which is crazy, 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 right? I mean, you put your hands on me, and it's like, honey.
Oh, my husband and I were having this, although I have to say, unfortunately, and I know there's women listening to this podcast that have been with abusive men.
Mm-hmm.
It happens gradually, and there's a lot at stake and in it for you. And you know, I've had some dear girlfriends that are with men, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them's still with her man that hit her once. He actually hasn't hit her since. But I mean, it still is like that has to always be in the back of your mind. And to your point, I never grew up seeing that. So, like to me, I would do whatever I had to do to get through that situation, get through the night, get like appease him to get away from him. And then I would
Mm-hmm.
burn that motherfucker. I would never, I don't care if we had, I mean, my husband was like, can you imagine me hitting you? Like punching you in the face? And I'm like, I can't, but I know women, I know it doesn't start like that, but it ended
And
like that.
let me be clear, I'm not judging the women, and I do
No, it's
think that
hard.
the guys are masters at what they do, and they definitely like hi Louis Realias. No, I'm not saying he hits Teresa. I'm not, please.
That was a big jump.
But
Okay.
John Jansen, when you're that you see it's different, but like James, you see something in the woman that's vulnerable. Like they know what they're doing, basically. They know
Okay, but wait, let's
how
just
to attract a woman.
speaking of lawsuits, let's make sure we're clear. We are
Louis
not saying
knows
John and
no.
Louis are abusive.
No,
Okay,
forget John, friend. Louis saw a woman who was not smart and said, I am a narcissist and I want someone to kiss the ground that I walk on. And I can't have Alexia. I mean, she's right there with Teresa, a little smarter. And this is, possibly the least intelligent person. And I happen to be in New Jersey. I'm saying that narcissistic, where you want someone to look up at you, is a similar trait. It's a different type of abuse. One is let's keep you down this way, and one is let's actually keep you down. I think the men are good at recognizing certain traits in certain women. And that's who they go after. Does that make sense? Again,
110%.
not shading the women.
The friends that I've known, it's, after you move in, after you've mixed your finances, after you've had a baby, after, there's stakes it's not, Allie, they're not married. They're not, but it's not that easy. There's fame, there's fortune. He just posted recently on his Instagram that he's,
James.
sober, again and going back to the steps and going to the
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not I never judge. And there's some psycho women that abuse men. It's rarer, but
There are.
I mean, I bet gay men that are in relationships with wacko other gay men that
Are
are
you kidding me? Of course.
abusive.
Of
Yes,
course.
these
And
men are
lesbians, I know yes, honey, I know it all. And yes, we're not saying that Louis hits Teresa, but he certainly knew what he was doing when he met the famous quote unquote cash cow, where there's no more cash at the moment. I mean, there's no more show. Yeah, I do know plenty of psychotic,
Oh, I
abusive
bet.
gay relationships, and some lesbian drama too, darling.
All of it.
I would love to know exactly what PK texted Kyle. Just I'd love to know.
Well, she went on to say, and then I have a million things I want to ask you next show, but she went on to say, look, we've been friends for 10 years. He's been
Hmm.
Mo's dear friend. Like, I'm not going to not text him. This isn't anything sexual. Like, we've all been friends for a long time. I was texting him, don't you believe that or no? Or you think it was something more?
No, I completely believe that.
Yeah, I'm Team
I
Kyle.
completely believe that. I guess it just goes back to
Kyle, we
communication.
love you. Come on the podcast, Kyle. Come on.
Come on the podcast, Kyle.
Kyle,
And
come on.
next time we have to talk about LVP as well, because we didn't really talk about the LVP Kyle thing, but next time we got to flesh that out.
You're the Jersey expert. Can you break down this whole Jennifer Eden thing for me at Jersey Mike's?
Every single person listening to this has just screamed I have done three quick hits last Tuesday, last Friday, and this past Sunday. I've done a three-part afternoon, 3:30, 4 p.m. quick hit on Jennifer Aiden. And this because there's a lot of things. She did this, and then they reacted, Jersey Mike's, and then the woman's